Hello and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. You, of course, are tuned in to Daily Dive. It is Friday, May 16th, 2025, and the NLL Finals are finally here. Welcome to all who observe. We are live on 12 on Sports via YouTube and X. Be sure to subscribe to the 12 on Sports YouTube channel for other great shows and live sports. On today's awesome show, I'm going to react to the NLL Awards NLL Awards being announced finally, as I'll talk about Connor Fields and Dyson Williams, but not in the negative way you'd think. We'll also talk to Pat Gregoire, who I believe is live on location in Buffalo. And then, of course, we'll get into our predictions. It's the crew's best bets. And I mean, I'm holding down the fort just for the record. No one else. We had a bad week, just a bad beat, but we'll talk about that later on in the show from Halifax, Saskatchewan. Lord have mercy. First, let you know that today's show is presented by the ticketing platform at 12onsports.com. Head over to 12ozsports.com. Click the tickets tab and search for your favorite sports team, not just the NLL, or, of course, your favorite music artist concerts or Broadway or theater if you're into that kind of thing. Or you can go directly there at 12onsports.com/tickets. We thank you for supporting the show. All righty, let's do it. I'm just going to let people know. I did not save the graphics. It's not like, who cares? I made a reaction video on social media. You can find it on daily.lax where I didn't give my take on the situation, but I made it a point to enjoy my early afternoon because around 1:45 or 2 o'clock, I really started buckling down on Daily Dive. So I made sure to not check the MVP of the Rookie of the Year because I knew what was going to happen. I told you guys before, I thought once I saw Brandon O'Neill was also in the top 3, even though I, being the biggest Brandon O'Neill spokesperson in lacrosse media, didn't think he was anywhere near that, we still got once I saw that, I was like, okay, they went the Dyson and Brandon O'Neill route, even though I felt like Adam Patra did everything those guys did, but also on defense. Like, but whatever, who cares, right? So I figured I told you guys this. I told you guys this about when Frank Scigliano won goal, like right when Frank Scigliano started getting popular, like week 15 or so. I told you guys I had a feeling Dyson Williams was going to win Rookie of the Year by default. They wanted this to happen. It happened. That's what we get. I'm not going to be all negative today. You guys know my thoughts by now. I figured it was going to happen. All I could do was laugh. Because, again, Adam Patra did everything those guys did, plus on defense. Like, there was I laughed. That's all I did was laugh. So that's my take, is I'm tired of getting angry at it. And of the MVPs, like someone actually asked a great question about the goalie of the year. I didn't think it should have been Scigliano. They asked me to rank the finalists, which I could probably do, but it's already too late because all the awards are done. And so I was like, what about the MVP finalists if I had to choose? Now, what's the Rookie of the Year first? I just talked about Dyson. If of the rookie, come on, Teddy, easy, buddy. Of the rookie finalists, if Teddy's there, he should probably join the show. I didn't ask him. That's just sad. Regardless of that, here's the deal. Dyson, Patra, Brennan, of the finalists, I'll go Patra 1, big gap Dyson, big gap Brennan. I'll admit that Dyson had better than Brennan in the end, but that was how I would do it. Of the MVPs, Connor would definitely be, even though I chose Lyle Thompson, I thought the award was wide open. For Buffalo fans chirping in comments, I hope people aren't taking that too seriously. They're just being homers at this point. Like, they know. Josh Burr and Dane Smith, I hate saying it, they cancel each other out. It happens in every single sport. It's not Josh or Dane's fault. It's just when the award is so close, you can't do it. You can't do one guy. Even though he did it last year, I'm just saying, it's not Bennett's fatigue. But I would go Connor 1, I would go Dane 2, and I would go Westberg 3. So that would be like of the finalists if I had to choose. And even Dane, like, I don't even know. Maybe Westberg would be ahead of Dane. I think those two are. I don't care about that. But that's my take on the awards. Happy for Connor. I've reached out to Connor. I will say, I'm not saying in what capacity, but I did reach out, telling him congrats. And I've been a big. I thought Connor Fields was underrated like 2 years ago, and now he's getting his due this year. So I'm very happy about that. That's it for just the awards. I already said my piece this whole week, so let's just leave it there. We come back. Let's talk to a man who wears so many hats. And by the way, yes, I do know that all NLL teams were voted on. I did not know if they were going to continue that this year. They did. So next week I'll get into those just for the record. But coming up next, we're going to talk to a man who's going to be calling the games with Teddy Jenner. His name is Pat Gregoire. Don't go anywhere, folks. I know you won't. You're watching Daily Dive.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pods Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water. Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How's Buffalo treating you, old Patster?
It's great. You probably can't tell from this room, this office that I'm in right now, but the sun is shining. People have already joined the party in the plaza just outside the arena. The vibes are immaculate, and you can feel the energy in the city.
I love that. Do we know when Saskatchewan got to the arena, or when both teams actually got to the in town?
I think Saskatchewan. I mean, a lot of the. I want to say it was yesterday. A good chunk of the guys do live in Ontario, so quick little drive down the highway wouldn't be too bad for them. But I'm not too sure if some of the guys from out west came in the night before into Toronto, and then I believe they took a bus from Toronto down to Buffalo.
Has Teddy joined you on the or not, or is he still flying?
Give me a second here.
He's commenting, which is good.
There he is.
Yes! I don't know if he's hardworking or feels left out. I feel awful right now.
Probably a little bit of both. Working hard and maybe feeling a little sorry for himself, but he's doing his notes. I don't know if you could see Ashley back there. He's getting ready for the show as well. So yeah,
cool.
we're excited. We can't wait to get this thing going.
Like 3.5 hours is too long at this point.
Way too long. Way too long.
Well, I'm glad you guys are safe there. I'm excited for the call. I I do want to get your, because you're the Halifax guy, and I know we're going to want to talk finals, but I do want to get your thought, because I don't even forget game one. Like, game two was like, talk about ripping your heart out. That was insane.
It was nuts. I honestly, I don't even really think I've had enough time to digest everything. It was wild. It was crazy. The comeback, just the wherewithal for Halifax to even, take that lead by 2 goals late, and just the unthinkable happened. Got to give credit where credit's due. Saskatchewan, for them to be able to dig deep there. That final play, the diving check from Messenger, the loose ball from Barnable, the feed up to Messenger to Hossack to bury the ball. Everything came together, and that's kind of a microcosm of that defense. Everyone chipping in, overwhelmed teams with athleticism, and I think they're going to have to do a little bit of that, and I think they're going to have a little bit of luck and a little bit of team of destiny vibes if they're going to want to knock off this Buffalo team.
And the odds, by the way, folks, he's our betting guy here, but the odds definitely are attributing to what you said. Like, Saskatchewan's going to need a little bit of extra help here than just man against man. I do want to also get to I just want to ask you, have you seen, like, honest to God, have you seen Mike Messenger dive on the floor the entire season before that point? I don't know if I've ever seen him do. He's a big dude.
He's a massive dude. He's a load, but he's incredibly athletic. I don't think he gets enough credit for how athletic he is, how skilled he is. He's so mean, so ferocious, but the guy's got some finesse to his game. He had to perfectly time that. And for him to be able to cleanly stick check Tarafanko completely, does not just dislodge the ball, dislodges the stick. It was perfectly executed. The guy earlier in the game, like Roman Reigns speared someone before. Like, the guy is just a physical specimen. Leaves it all out on the floor.
All right, and then one last thing. I feel bad because talk about Teddy feeling bad. NLL Box House snubbed the guy too. How did you get on that show?
Okay. He's a two-time guest. I figure they probably they were throwing me a bone there and figured they felt bad for me and wanted to get me on, I guess. But no, it was a lot of fun. Big fan of Mackie and Coop, the program. I think this podcast has been a smashing success. So for me to be invited, I had to absolutely take that opportunity, and it was a fun chat.
I love it. I have not checked it out yet. Shame on me. OTCB, I know you guys have posted the episode finally. I say finally. I did mention my comments. I don't know if it made it, so don't spoil anything, but I know you guys were taking comments about the series, and I did dabble in that a little bit, so I hoping that went well, but that can be found on audio platforms.
Yeah, we won't spoil anything. You can go and listen. We did answer your question in the mailbag, so go ahead and listen. Steve Dubbett joined the program from TGL Sports and most recently the NLL Alumni Club. Talked all things about that. I know you're a big fan of collectibles. Some really cool, exciting things down the pipeline for the NLL Alumni Club. So I would definitely listen to that. Some really, really interesting stuff that should happen for next year.
I'm excited. All right, so let's get into these games. Rush Bandits obviously is why we're here. This man represents, in a way, I guess representing Quebec Canada right now. You're always representing them. But Quebec Canada, yes. So Quebec Canada, of course. So here's our betting guy here for the NLL Finals, and of course we're only going to have game one. Mm-hmm. I'll just go off the cool bet odds automatically here. -182 for Buffalo on the money line. It is 1.5 everywhere. I see you guys have it at 23. 22.5 is on DraftKings, and everywhere else is 21.5 in the States. So that's a little bit of a discrepancy, which I do like. I want to first get into your thoughts on those, like spread, money line, and total of game one, and then we'll go into the series and the player props and such.
Absolutely. I really have a hard time anytime. -182 is too much juice. I do like Buffalo to open up on the road here. You can get Saskatchewan +1.5 at -110. I honestly don't know. Like, I think it's going to be a close game, but we've seen the Bandits before in these big playoff games kind of pull away near the end of games or an empty netter. So for me, I'm staying away from a side, staying away from a spread. I'm going to the total. I'm taking under 23.5.
Love it.
At Cool Bet, you can buy the half point and get it to -137. I would still take it at under 23. Both
Right.
these goalies have been unbelievable this playoff. The defense have been electric. Matt Vince the guy's been, this is what, year 19. Spent more
Oh,
than half his career in the finals. So we know this guy is a guy that steps up in the big moments. But out of all the finals appearances that he's made, out of all the deep playoff runs, all the championships, when you look at the numbers, these are his best numbers that we've seen. And the way that defense is playing in front of them, the last time these two teams played, mind you, no Robert Church. Ian McKay was playing defense last game, so there is a little bit of a different look offensively. I trust the defense here. I trust the goaltenders. I'm going under 23. I think it could be even lower. Like I'm thinking 10-8,
yeah.
8-6. Like I think it's going to be a real low scoring grinded out battle.
I love that. I want to I personally, like, if I can use total shoot on a 23 regardless. If I can buy the juice on Cool Bet, I'm minus 137. Shit, oh my god!
Absolutely.
Just like, taking a bone, I'll take that bone. Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. If that is a quote unquote sucker bet and buying the juice, call me a sucker. I'm taking the cheese, the rat line, whatever you want to call it. I love it. I honestly, 23 and a half though, and you said there's 22 and a half on other books. I would take that too. I really do. I think game one's going to be a lot more of a feeling out process. I do know that Saskatchewan, as your question you asked in the mailbag, I do think they want to play up tempo. They're going to. But here's the thing: the Bandits. There's no one better at taking away transition than the Buffalo Bandits. Like, they do such a good job taking away fast break opportunities. So Saskatchewan's going to need to capitalize when that does happen. They're going to want to play with pace. I just think 5-on-5 scoring is going to be so tough. Special teams and power play. Like, I think that and when you look at the transition opportunities, that's going to be make or break for it here. I love Teddy's comment right there. Race to 11.
I said this yesterday. I don't know if he said on the OTCB, but I said this yesterday live for the record. I thought 11 was going to be our number 12. Not a hot take.
It's not. It's not a hot take. I'll double down. I think it's a great take. I think you guys are on a right track here. I don't even know if they'll get up to 11.
Yeah, that's a good point. I since you mentioned the transition, and I don't know if you saw the keys that I posted after my show yesterday.
I did.
I want to ask you, because it kind of relates to the question I asked on OTCB, but it kind of like has its own thing here. I said key for the Bandits, of course, was composure, because of just don't get the penalties, because the Rush are going to play clean, but they're going to play physical, but they're not going to take penalties. I'm scared of a Bandits penalty late. Offensive consistency, just like getting some shots up. Like, this team can score. Bandits can score against anybody if they want, if they're able to. For the Rush, I did say not just transition. I said success in transition, because obviously I know Matt Vince is going to stone that and all this stuff. But I know the Rush have been so smart this year. And that was my thing. Jake Naso, I think this is one of the biggest X factors in the series, is Jake Naso limiting those Bandits runs. I'm looking forward to this face-off battle, to be quite honest. Jake Naso and Connor Farrell. Milkman and Naso?
It is pretty sweet. I think it was on one of the Buffalo Sabres shows that they have. Farrell was on the program, and he brought up something that I don't think a lot of people know, is that Connor Farrell used to coach Jake Naso at face-offs. So I think that in itself is going to be a pretty cool storyline. So it's a little bit of the sensei going up against the mentee. Like, I think it's going to be a really, really cool matchup. The thing that we were talking about today, myself, Ashley, and Teddy, while we're watching Morning Shoot Around, is one thing that, Farrell's numbers don't exactly jump off the page when it comes to his. But one thing he does so well is those big face-offs that they need, is the ones late in game, the ones where a team's going on a run. There isn't a stat or an analytic on impact face-offs won. I would be curious to see what his numbers look like in the fourth quarter, late in games, because for whatever reason, it seems like this guy comes up in the big moments.
I agree. I was doing the tongue wag thing. I don't know if you caught the reference.
Yes, I did.
Let's get to the single, like the game one player props, and then I'll get, because I saw a few series ones I loved. But for this one, any points or goals stand out to you for game one? I see what is it, Robert Church at 5.5, Dane Smith at 7.5 on the points. Those stand out to me. How about this one? Dane Smith and Josh Burns 7.5 each. Who do you think has the potential to reach that?
So
Dane, right?
I think it's Dane just because of the facilitating nature of it. But like, I would never want to bet against these guys because they're just so damn good and they play their best lacrosse in the postseason. But like, I think it's going to be a low scoring game. 8 points, like that. I said that this could be a 10-8. That means
point.
Like, again, not going to. That's more of a stay away spot for me.
Like
Seeing
that.
Ian McKay's number at 4.5 is crazy, but again, he has been the catalyst for this offense. He's been so good coming up in big moments. I think Zach Mans at 4.5. Like, if you put it this way, if Zach Mans doesn't have more than 5 points, Saskatchewan is losing this lacrosse game. He is losing. They are losing this lacrosse game. So you can get at -106. So you get a better number than the under 4.5. I would lean looking there. I want to go to goals though with Josh Byrne. His number's at 3 at -109. He's only scored 1 goal in the playoffs so far. I don't think enough people are talking about that, and I don't know if it's necessarily.
I haven't talked about it.
No one is. No one is. Mike, you're not alone. 1 goal. I'm not knocking the guy because they're still winning games. They're finding ways to win. He's due for a breakout, isn't he? He's due.
Is it coming? Yeah.
I think it's coming, and I think it's coming here. So I'm going to take the over 3 goals at -109 for Byrne. He's just a big time player. Loves playing at home. I think he's going to come out guns a-blazing. When you look at his last game, when these two teams met, he had 6 points, but only 2 goals. The game before that, 4 goals, 7 assists for 11 points. And then the last time, I guess it would have been the time before that when he played Frank Giuliano, when he played for San Diego, 3 goals again. So he's hit this number in 2 of his last 3 games against Frank Giuliano. So I'm going to go with the over, and the trends of recent play in the playoffs go against it. But I'm going to go more on history against Frank the Tank, and then just the fact that we're due for a big Josh Byrne goal game.
Finals performer, this guy.
Yep.
Last one I want to mention in game one, Robert Church, and I was on record saying this, that the Rush's points total for the season was like all jumbled together, but Church played like 4 less games than or 5 less games than everybody else. So, with that in mind, could you see Church being a sneaky good bet for these things?
Looking at his goals over 2.5, -106.
I don't mind that.
5.5 for point. Like, I would probably lean his points. We're going to talk a little bit on the broadcast, but Robert Church seems to be the only forward on this rush group that has had a lot of success against Matt Vince, especially as of late. Last time he played, I know he didn't play last game. You mentioned it. He was a big talking point, and I think you're totally right. But he had a sock trick last year against Vince, March 8th, 2024. So
not bad.
Maybe history repeats itself. I don't know. Vince has been on another level, especially in the playoffs. So let's go with over 5.5 points. Similar to what I said about Zach Mans. If he's not getting 5, I think Robert Church on the other side of the floor is going to have to contribute as well.
Love it. Series points, and then of course we'll get to the games and the championship pick if you're allowed to do that. I'm looking at the one thing that starts to me for these for the series points head to head. Ian McKay against Zach Mans and Ryan Keane. I'll take them both. Honest to God, he has been so good. The fact that you can get him at those decent odds, I believe. Well, underdog against Zach Mans, I love that.
Yeah,
right.
Those were the 2 that jumped out to me for sure. When you look at what is it here? Plus 120 against Mans. And I know I just said like Mans has to come up big, but like McKay has been, I think I know it's the NLL Finals MVP, but if we were giving out like a playoff MVP right now, I think it would be 1A, 1B with Matt Vince and Ian McKay. So
Yeah.
I love that there. The other one that kind of popped out to me as well is most goals in the series. Let me pull it up here. It's a little juicy, but Dahogan Anacoke minus 143 against Mike Triolo. Nothing against Mike Triolo. I talked about how important he is for this offense with crashing and banging, freeing up space for other guys, getting back, playing a little bit of defense. But Dahogan Anacoke, you want to talk about big time players? This is a guy that comes up in big moments. Like he lives for playing in playoff lacrosse. So we're getting almost, minus 143. Like
It's not bad.
I'm going with Dahoga. I know it's a little more juice that I like to give out for some of these player props, but I would be going with Nanacoke to outscore Mike Triolo. I think in player, oh my God, I even like this even more. And I love Clark Walter as well. I think he's so important to that offense on the right side or the left side of the floor. But you're getting minus 114 for Dahoga to have more points than Clark Walter in this series. So I'm sorry, Sparky, but I'm gonna go with Dahoga on this one.
The water bug battle there on the goals between Kyle Buchanan and Clark Walter is kind of fun too.
I think it's a fun one.
It's Buchanan for me because of the fact Dane loves to feed him by that left side of the net going forward. Like
great point.
That's got to be Buchanan.
And you're getting better odds on Buchanan there. So I think I you know what, you opened up my eyes to that one as well. The 2-man game has been phenomenal for Buffalo with Buchanan and Smith. I think Buchanan also only has one goal so far this playoffs. Mind you, it was arguably their most important goal with that dunk behind the net with 0.3 seconds left on the clock.
That was yes.
I don't think he scored. I could be wrong. I'll have to check my notes. I don't think he's scored in the playoffs since then. So again, another one of these big time players does not.
He's got one. That's it.
Yeah. So
that's the one.
Again, talking about guys that have to break out or need to break out, and they don't have to break out. Like Buchanan and Dahoga don't need to have like a 6-point game or a hat trick or 4 goals. Like they just need to pop 2 or 3 in some of these games, and that's going to be enough to help out Josh Byrne and Dane Smith get over this very good defense. I can't wait for this, man. This is a chess match. Like these two coaching staffs, I can only imagine how little they have slept this week, just going over film, adjusting, making adjustments, what's worked well, what hasn't, throwing different things. Like it's going to be an absolute chess match.
Couple more things here. Ian McKay. Oh, not Ian McKay, but Kyle Buchanan. I'll whisper this again for the people in the back. Or that right here. Kyle Buchanan had more goals this year than Dane Smith. I don't know. It's just could be.
Here we go. Here we go.
Just let you know, like that's how important this guy is to this team. Finally, I think Matt Vince to have more saves than Chiliano is a no-brainer. Because if the Rush have to play in order to be successful, if they have to play with the limited shots on goal game, Matt Vince, if you're going to get transition against this guy, I mean the Matt Vince saves. Right?
Yeah, I you know what? I do think that is one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is maybe Buffalo limits shots by blocking shots, forcing bad shots.
That's a good point. Dang, that's a good point.
And maybe and maybe Buffalo really finds a way to pepper the goal. That's another way to look at it. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
That's the point. Paul Dawson. I'm hurting right now for Paul Dawson right here.
I know. We tried to get it out. We didn't get it out in time, but we were looking to see a total over-under blocks in the series between these two teams because the number would be insane. Saskatchewan, in this playoffs, they are averaging, I think it's like 10.5 blocks per game. Something crazy. Way more than what they were doing during the regular season.
Yeah, and then as far as the blocks is concerned, how the over-under bruises that man had this year? Just thought.
The limit does not exist. It's too high.
One of the things I'm going to mention, full disclosure, in the next segment, I'm going to say, as I let you go here, as we wrap it up with a series bet, over 2.5 games. I'd like to think, even though Saskatchewan, it bugs me that they did kind of struggle with, I thought was an inferior team compared to the Bandits.
Mhm.
I feel like the Rush can definitely force game 3. It feels like they can.
I mean,
So I
it
don't mind over
certainly
2.5.
it absolutely does. Sorry, I'm just on the move here. I think so for sure. I totally think so. I think they got to have game 1. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I don't even really want to say they have to have game 1, Mike.
Mhm.
I think it's paramount that they come out, have a good effort, start on time. I do think, like, obviously, if they're at home, they're going to feel a little more comfortable. But in terms of coming out, knocking off Buffalo in game 1, just going to give you a little story before.
Okay, Pat, get them athletic shoes out again.
Here we go.
That's
This place is going to
amazing.
be rocking tonight.
The calm before the storm. I love it. Who's your pick, by the
Anyways.
way? I mean, are you allowed to give a pick?
I don't know if I'm not allowed to or allowed to, but I think
Don't say it then.
I think this might be my heart or maybe my wallet speaking. I think we go 3 games. I think Buffalo wins tonight. Despite what I said, I think that
Feels like that's
Saskatchewan needs to score, but I think Buffalo, it's going to be a close one tonight.
Yep.
Buffalo wins game 1. Saskatchewan wins a close game 2. Come back here in Bandit land, and Bandits go back to back, winning their 3rd title on home floor.
I like that, and so do the people of Buffalo. Just for the record. All the time here, man. Any parting shots? Teddy, Ashley, want to say anything?
There they are.
Yes, again.
Yeah,
Amazing.
they're all fired
The
up. They
Wi-Fi
can't
must-
contain their the Wi-Fi is great. Mr. Pegula has not missed a bill payment. That's for sure.
I love it. Pat, have a call. Get some more prep and some more lemon juice. But thanks, dude.
I can't believe we're still 3 hours till game time. Like, come on, hurry up! I got to get going.
We can talk for another 2 hours.
Well, I know. I've had this is like my 3rd coffee today. I'm gonna be running through a brick wall here soon.
I'm looking forward to the suit game too, Pat. But thank you and Teddy and Ashley for all you guys do.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. I'm looking forward to tonight. Keep up your good work as well. It's sad. Might only have one more appearance left until next fall. So let's make it a good one.
We will. Thank you, Pat.
Yeah. See you, Mike.
P. Greggy on Twitter. P. Greggy22 on Instagram. Again, for some reason, I've never asked him about that. I don't know. I don't care. Who cares? Thanks so much for tuning into the show, guys. When we come back, we're going to talk about our predictions for the playoffs. Well, for the playoffs. Good Lord. Hi, we're in May, beginning of May. When we come back, it's the crew's best bets, and then we're going to wrap up the show for the week. Thanks so much for watching. Don't go anywhere. We're going to wrap it up next. You're watching Daily Dive.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
You need tickets to that next event? We've got them. That's right, tickets.12ozsports.com. Get you to any sporting event, concert, theater event that you can think of. And the promo code 12OZ or ROME gets you an additional discount. Don't feed the massive ticket corporate machine. Go to tickets.12ozsports.com and enjoy the show. America, get back on track with Dust Pods Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys. Reminder to go to 12onsports.com, click the tickets tab, and search for your favorite sporting event or music concert, etc. 12onsports.com/tickets helps you out as well. You can also bet on lacrosse, not the NLL yet, but bet on lacrosse and other sports on mybookie.ag. Promo code DAILYLAX, all caps, no spaces, for a first deposit, I believe, bonus, and also referral obviously helps a lot too, right? Okay, full disclosure, I have not added player props to this graphic because I did not request them in time. But when these are posted on social media in like an hour or less, I'm going to add my player props, and I will tell you them on the show. We want to first get to Leroy's bets for this week, and we're very excited to announce that he has got nothing. Which, listen, after an 0-3 start to the playoffs, I don't blame him. If this holds and he doesn't do it, if they don't go to game 3, so next week we don't get anything either, he would finish at 500, which would be 16-16. No pressure. We're excited and we're happy for what he does with the show, regardless, but nothing for this week. I just had to show because it was fun. Okay. Next up, Captain. After an 0-3 week, because he had 2 pending, so he picked the Thunderbirds money line. Talk about a bad beat, by the way. But he picked the Thunderbirds money line. He also had Thunderbirds winning the series in over 2.5 games. Those did not work. So it combined for an 0-3 week, he's now 3-6. But he's got Rush plus 1.5 tonight, minus 105 on DraftKings. And the Rush to win the series is at plus 170 on FanDuel. Does FanDuel Coolbet have the No, okay, I was making sure. So plus 170 is the biggest odds for the longest odds for the Rush on FanDuel. Then finally, I will tell you my bets for the games, and of course, I'll tell you the player props I'm going to go with that I'll post later. So I went 1-2 last week. I also had 1 pending, but 1-1 on the bets that I chose for the week. That is, I'm still 5-4 for the playoffs. Not bad. I've got 2 game ones on bets that I'll give you here. Ben's money line. Minus 170 on FanDuel. There's like 170, like 180, longest like the shortest I'll go for a single game money line or single game bet at all. That's about my limit. So minus 170 FanDuel, sure, I'll take it. Bandits Rush under 22.5. I actually like the idea of like buying the hook 23.5 just to be extra safe. But 22.5 at minus 125 on DraftKings, no big deal. For the series, I'll take the over 2.5 at minus 106 on Coolbet, just so we get a fun series. And I'll take the Bandits to win the whole thing at minus 188. Again, if it's a series bet, you have to put a little bit more dimes on that one, but it's not terrible. And again, to go along with that, I will also take Ian McKay, most points head-to-head in the series. I'll go ahead and take him plus 120 against Zach Mans. I also think Kyle Buchanan, most goals in the series head-to-head against Clark Walter, the water bug matchup. Give me Matt Vince to have more saves than Frank Scigliano in the series. And again, those are my 3 player props I will take. If I might add a player prop for like the single game, like game 1. And if I had to choose, it would be, I don't know, if I see a low scoring game, I'll leave it alone. I'll do the 3 series props as well with the player head-to-head and the Matt Vince thing. So, again, give me the list right here. And again, I'll add later on to the graphic. I will add my player prop of Ian McKay more points than Zach Mans at plus 120. Plus money again. Kyle Buchanan against Clark Walter for most goals in the series. And Matt Vince most saves against Frank Scigliano, and I'll post those. We'll see how we do. I'm going all in. Here's all my chips on the table right here. Bingo. Have a great. It's so bad. Reminder to follow us at Daily Dive LAX on social media. I got a Georgia Swarm shirt, by the way. I'm very happy with Fanatics clearance. I don't know if the Fanatics still has the NLL stuff. I've not checked, but I did get this. I love these epic shirts, by the way. Hope we see more of these in the future, but they're so comfortable. I had to represent the Swarm finally. But yeah, Daily Dive LAX for our merch and our social media updates, etc. including Coach Leroy's coaching career, and of course, captains, bets, etc. Follow us all, Daily Dive LAX, where you can find most stuff on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, you can go there directly at dailydivelacks.creator-spring.com as it goes across the screen. I timed that semi-perfectly this time. Enjoy game 1 tonight. Enjoy game 2 on Sunday. And hopefully, I don't know if hopefully is the right word here. I would not mind if the Rush push it to game, or if someone pushes it, because I don't want to say, the Rush have to push the game 3. That wouldn't be, it's not fair. They're going to go head to head. If there's a game 3, I would not be mad next week. But enjoy the 2 games this weekend. Stay safe, why don't you? This has been a presentation of 12 on Sports Daily Dive. Thanks to Pat and everybody else. Y'all have a great day. See you Monday, same time, same place. Bye.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.